people don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a bright, focused foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Ola Bakare has had her work cut out for her lately. She's an award-winning inclusive marketing strategist and author of the book, Responsible Marketing: How to Create an Authentic and Inclusive Marketing Strategy. The current political climate makes it trickier for companies to navigate how to treat questions of diversity and inclusion. But Bakare's advice is simple.
You always look out for three things: the social impact you have on all of their stakeholders, communities, customers, employees, etc. You look out for your brand's reputation, and you look out for your commercial impact. And your actions need to have positive effects on those three things for them to be valid. Right? So that is where telling a brand that they should pull back from anything related to DEI doesn't make sense on any of those three levers, especially the third when we think about commercial impact.
Bakare speaking Bloomberg. She's also founder of boutique consultancy firm B Co. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner. On the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. The kind of-ish, somewhat midterm flavored elections that we had a couple of Tuesdays ago revealed some things, and I want to be careful not to look into those things too deeply because so much can change so quickly in our politics. I wanted to see it as real momentum for the opposition party, that there was some kind of motivation amongst the 7 or 8 million voters. Well, probably more than that. Probably more like 10, 15 million voters that turned out and voted for either a referendum in California or a mayor in New York City or a variety of other special elections that were taking place. And because the Democrats performed so well, I wanted to look into that very deeply and say, oh, well, this is the momentum that is necessary to at least slow the progression of Trumpism before it can take much more permanent roots in our society. And I think that some aspects of Trumpism are going to be here forever. There are other aspects that I think the American people can stifle, can quell, can prevent from being permanent. One of the permanent things is when presidents expand their power, when they do something that is not typical, if they do something that overrides congressional approval, and Congress doesn't say anything, and the courts permit it, that is newfound power, that is a new avenue for a president, and whoever is president next, they will use that as precedent. If Donald Trump can defy Congress and defy the courts for something he really wants to do, the next Democratic president is probably going to do the exact same thing because they really want to do it, and there is precedent that they can. Some of the mistrust of government officials and people in power and very wealthy people, I think that is going to be one of the more permanent impacts to Trumpism, because you can have the American people that might want, I don't know, reasonably priced health care or clean drinking water or renewed infrastructure or whatever it is. But if this president doesn't want it to happen, it is not going to take place. He also is not very sensitive to public sentiment. That one is dangerous because if you don't care how the public perceives you, your ability to govern, your ability to lead, and if your ideas as a president, as a leader, are going contrary to what the majority of the American people want, and if you're not moved by that, if you're not bothered by that, if you have a lack of empathy for the people that you are essentially ruling over, that is very dangerous, and we cannot have that be a permanent part of the executive branch moving forward. So I'm worried about a couple of things. And so in these days and times, in these environments, how do we exercise the P word? If you're very wealthy, the wealthy people can exercise the P word all the time, and they do. In fact, they want to enshrine their P word in policy. They'll take some of their money, maybe some of their dividends, maybe some of their discretionary spending, and they may start a political action committee. And no, P word doesn't stand for political. And they will create an organization that will lobby members of Congress or maybe their state legislature to create rules and create laws that protect them. Maybe they want to protect their wealth. Maybe they work very hard for their money. I don't even know where all these rich people came from. Some years ago, the mention of a billionaire was only like a dude wearing a sheik. What are them things the sheiks wear on their heads? Those aren't turbans. They wear, that's what a billionaire was when I first had a concept of the number. Now they're everywhere. They're in Donald Trump's cabinet. They're in his inner circle. I'm just curious as to where all these rich people came from. But if you are that wealthy, and I don't blame you for wanting to protect yourself and protect your wealth. It's a whole bunch of things they can do. They can protect their wealth, and they can protect their livelihoods and their property or whatever it is by engaging in policy and by buying elected officials. There's a guy named Elon Musk. How much did he spend on that Supreme Court race here? A few million. He lost. Brad Zimmel was ultimately defeated. But Elon Musk wanted to engage in a kind of protectionism to look out for his best interest, or maybe Elon Musk thought that by helping out Donald Trump and helping to get Donald Trump elected and help surround Donald Trump with people at every level of government, whether it be U.S. senators, whether it be members of the House of Representatives or members of the judiciary, that were protecting Donald Trump. And his agenda is one that needs to be protected because a lot of it is unconstitutional, it's unpopular, and it's illegal. Elon Musk might have been protecting his many industries with SpaceX. He basically has the de facto organization for NASA and space exploration. He also has billions of dollars in government contracts, so he wanted to protect his contracts. Let's say you're less than a billionaire. You have a few million, or maybe even less than that. You have, several $100,000. You've got some stocks and some bonds and some brokerage accounts. You have some assets. You own a little real estate. And maybe the real estate that you own is just your house. Don't you want to protect that? No one wants to be vulnerable in this society. You have to make sure that you are protected. And let's say you bought your house a long time ago in a neighborhood, in a community in which you felt the P word. You felt protected. Well, things might start changing a little bit. The economy might start changing a little bit. A lot of the protection that you felt in your neighborhood where you bought your house a long time ago, that protection came from everyone in that neighborhood, in that community. They had employment. They had great jobs, made great money, had great benefits. You felt protected because everyone around you in that surrounding geographic area, they had just as much as you, meaning no one needed to take from anyone because you all had everything that you needed provided by that mainstay of employment. This could be a throwback to when Milwaukee was a manufacturing town and there were jobs that were so plentiful, people would migrate from other parts of the country just to come to Milwaukee and work. It is not a coincidence that these communities that we now lament about were way safer then. But what if that neighborhood starts to change and jobs are becoming less plentiful, factories are closing, poverty creeps in, desperation creeps in, deprivation creeps in? You don't feel as protected. Now, you still have your assets. You still have your money. You still have your savings and your brokerage accounts and your stocks and your bonds, and you still have the equity in that house. But you need to protect all of that. So you move. You move further away. Maybe you move to a surrounding suburb. Maybe you leave the county altogether. And if you did that, for protecting yourself, your family, your children, I wouldn't blame you. In fact, in a lot of situations, I would encourage it. If you have the money, if you have the wherewithal, you can move away. You can simply just pick a new location where you feel more protected. And I can't blame someone for having that kind of motivation. Let's say you want to protect your family. What if something happens to you? What if you're the breadwinner in your family? And a lot of you are. Shout out to the breadwinners, those of you that file head of household on your taxes. Don't you want to make sure that those who you love are also protected? You might get a life insurance policy, a whole life insurance policy, or term life insurance policy. You want to protect those people. I'm going somewhere with this today. By the end of today's program, I hope, I'm going to better define what I strive to do here every single day, because sometimes it gets lost, especially when Al calls. But there is an overarching theme to what I do, and I'm trying to build on it cumulatively. We'll get to that at some point during the program, but first I got to lay this beautiful foundation. You might have a life insurance policy to protect those that you love very much, so if something happens to you and you're the breadwinner, your kids won't have to worry. Let's say you just bought a real fancy car. Some of y'all drive real nice cars. Fancy cars with nice wheels on them, the shiny paint jobs. Both of your taillights work. and your headlights work and your turn signals work when you decide to use them. Side note, use your turn signal. Is it so hard? Why is that a hard thing to do? There's a stalk sticks out. It goes up. It goes down. Up means right turn signal. Down means left turn signal. I felt like I needed to explain that to some of you because some of y'all just don't use it. I saw a person yesterday that put the left turn signal on to turn right. They had it backwards. But you want to protect that fancy car in which you never use the turn signals. You might have insurance. In fact, by law, you must protect your vehicle with insurance. It's state law here in Wisconsin. You might be concerned about your health, and you're worried about the cost of health care. It's very expensive. Now, this is one that a lot of people can relate to. You may want to protect your financial gains and your money by having health insurance. Now, health insurance is about to get a little bit more expensive, but whatever you're going to pay monthly, I assure you, it will be a lot less than an emergency room stay. Take it from me. I was in the emergency room for a few days, $50,000. My portion of that, $1,800, because I protected myself with health insurance. You have to make sure that you are shielded from harm by being able to protect yourself, your family, your assets, your future, your children, etc. But what if you can't? And that's what I want to discuss today. So I'm going to take a break, come back. I want to talk about the vulnerabilities that, let's just say, minorities have, women have, differently abled people have, all of these vulnerabilities because they lack these protections. And I think this is where you have this fine line. Sometimes the line is not that fine between your liberal and your conservative, your Democrat and your Republican. The more conservative folks have everything they need and they want to protect it, even if it's at the expense of people that have nothing. And I also want to insert where African Americans fit into that. So I'm going to go through a whole host of what I'm going to call social protections. And when I begin to reveal what social protections are, like what keeps you safe in your community? Do you have institutions that protect you? Do you have hospitals that protect you? Do you have insurance that protects you? Do you have all of these things that protect you and your children? And if you don't, how on earth do you get them? And if you cannot get them, you are vulnerable in this society. And it is that vulnerability that creates this sense of deprivation, and it also defines the political parties and pretty significant political agendas. We're going to discuss that today. Because on this program, I am trying to lessen the vulnerabilities and provide more information that leads to more protection of very vulnerable people. So we're going to dig into all of the things on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, exclusively on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's College Month on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, and we want to help your young scholar get those free scholarship dollars. All month long, we'll be highlighting local organizations who help students find thousands of dollars in scholarships each year. So be sure to tune in to 101.7 The Truth's College Month so you can learn how your scholar can get those scholarship dollars. College Month on The Truth is sponsored by Marquette University and Educators Credit Union.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
You know, it's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
One of the things that I took away from the Democrats' victory and the almost kind of somewhat precursor to the midterm election a couple of Tuesdays ago was this race that was in Georgia that didn't really register much on national radar. And it was for the Georgia Public Service Commission, and these are individuals. It's a statewide commission in Georgia. I don't know if we have something similar in Wisconsin. I know we have a public service commission, but our public service commissioners are appointed individuals. So we don't vote for the people that set what we pay We Energies. They get appointed to the Public Service Commission, and We Energies always wants more money. I don't know if you all know that. But We Energy is like, well, we need to build another coal-fired plant, and we need to increase the energy production for southeastern Wisconsin, you see. And We Energies might want to, I don't know, strengthen the electrical grid, or We Energies might want to do something that costs more money, and they can't just arbitrarily and unilaterally raise the rates. They have to get permission from the Public Service Commission. Now, I have known of a public service commissioner or two, but most of these individuals we do not know because they are appointed by folks that we oftentimes do not pay attention to. And I wonder if the accountability would be different if we voted for the people, if they had to run campaigns and convince us to vote for them to sit on this public service commission. So we don't have an elected public service commission here in Wisconsin, but they do in Georgia. And so this race was a way in which African Americans exercised some protectionism. They voted for, the first time I think in 25 years, not one but two African Americans now sit on this Georgia Public Service Commission, because one of the ways in which vulnerable people, especially our people, when I say our people, now I'm talking about black folks. I ain't talking about human beings. I'm not talking about people that have a college degree. I'm talking about black folks specifically. This is why I get so frustrated. But I never really could articulate my frustration because I just assumed everyone saw the world and voting and politics the way I do. Clearly that is not the case. I need to do a better job of explaining myself. If you have nothing, if this society is not looking out for you, if society is always trying to harm you and take things away from you, you can protect yourself, your interests, your people, and your community by casting a ballot for someone that sees the world the way you do. And so when I have to have these arguments with people about why they should vote, but then they'll tell me about how hard their life is, that they hate the police, they don't like the district attorney, policies don't reflect their sentiment, but then at the same time they're telling me that they don't vote. Okay, fair enough. But then they'll also point to these other people, these other communities in these other places where their voter turnout is higher, and Sherwin, oh, those people have it so good over there because those people are exercising a kind of protectionism that we do not. That's why they're trying to make voting more difficult. Have you guys ever wondered why the hell they're making voting more difficult now? Because think about the 1980s and the 1990s, even going back to the 1970s. The 60s were different because then our right to vote was not enshrined in federal law. We didn't have federal protection for our rights to vote. But then in the 70s, there was no voter ID in the 70s. There was no accusation of voter fraud in the 1980s. None. Here's the thing. It existed, probably existed in the same numbers and same percentages that it does now, but they didn't even discuss it. It wasn't talked about. because African American voter participation was so low that those that do not want black people to be protected by their vote and protected by voting for people, it didn't register on their radar because we were so still quite behind in our voter participation. But then once we started to realize if you don't have assets and if you don't have, a bunch of money and if you don't have a bunch of things that are worth protecting, you can get some of those things by voting for individuals who will add to the assets that you want to protect, you see. And then when we started realizing that, putting two and two together, that our votes are this collective form of bargaining with the political system, then they accuse us of voter fraud because now our candidates were winning. Not only were our candidates winning, our candidates were protecting us. See, they want black people to be vulnerable in this country. Here's an example. I'm going to take away your food stamps. You're not going to be able to eat. One thing that you should be able to protect is your stomach from going hungry. But if they have the ability to take it away, but here's where I think that we benefit here in the city of Milwaukee, which a lot of people say negative things about. A lot of times the people that speak negatively about the city don't like the fact that we have agencies and organizations that protect us. If you move away and you move to greener pastures because you're afraid of black people, you don't have some of those social organizations that can protect you. Meaning when white folks left the city and they left the county, they went out to greener pastures that are rural, they still kept some of their poverty with them. But when their food subsidies run out, they didn't get their food stamps. They don't got food banks like we do. We could have turned the entire whole of the city of Milwaukee into one gigantic feeding America because we want to protect each other here in this city. We have those forms of protectionism just in case the food stamps don't come and the subsidies are not available. Where in rural communities, they traded their safety and their distance, their proximity from us, and they traded away some of those social safety nets that cities have. But in Georgia, it was a perfect example because black folks voted to protect themselves from high and unfair utility bills by voting for African Americans to sit on this Georgia Public Plan Commission that sets the utility rates, because I have stories here where people in Georgia, especially rural black folks and poor black folks in Georgia, had utility bills that were higher than their rents. And so they voted in a way to protect themselves from these really high utility prices by using the vote. I always understood voting is a form of protection. If you have nothing else, you can vote for people that feel the same pain that you do. You elevate those people to exalted political positions, and they can legislate on behalf of an unprotected people because policy is protection. From News1.com, often relied upon to carry the burden of saving democracy in the country from itself, black voters showed up for themselves and their communities in 2025. Recent state and local elections offered a glimpse of the possibility and hope of what's possible when black voters are engaged on the issues that matter. Black voters, notably those living and organizing in rural communities, have always had the potential to shift the balance of power in state and local politics. One example is the recent Georgia Public Service Commission race, a statewide election with little visibility but very high stakes. Organizers mobilizing voters ahead of the election got clear and sharp on the stakes. Groups like Black to the Future Action Fund got real and talked to people about basic mechanics of the Public Service Commission and how it could impact their lives. A part of the winning coalition that flipped not one but two seats on the Public Service Commission, Black to the Future Action Fund built on existing relationships in Valdosta, a community in South Georgia. Speaking with News1.com, Alexis Rogers, a political director at Black to the Future Fund, said that organizing for the Public Service Commission race was a natural extension of our homes, our future. Quote, "We've been on the ground organizing in Valdosta since 2022, knocking on doors, listening to community members. As we were launching that campaign, people were saying, yes, we want all of this, and also, why are the Georgia power rates still going up?" Rogers shared that in some cases, people had electric bills that were the same or even higher than their rents. But the first step was listening and asking people what was needed, not rushing to dictate to community members about their civic duty. There was a 47% increase in areas around Valdosta where Black to the Future Action Fund organized. Rogers noted that organizations such as Black Voters Matter Fund, Georgia Conservation Voters, and Climate Power were motivating and mobilizing voters across the state. According to NPR, electricity costs had outpaced increases in the cost of living over the last several years. The cost of electricity has jumped 40% since February of 2020. Only 10 states, including Georgia, elect the members of the regulatory body that oversees utilities. So it goes on and on and on. But that is a way in which Black folks organized and voted to put people on this Georgia Public Service Commission to review the rates that were taking so much of people's income that they could barely afford to live. This is just one of many examples. And so for people that don't understand why the vote is important, if you live in a community where you can be susceptible to your food subsidies getting cut off, if you are vulnerable because of high rent prices or just the high cost of living, if you are vulnerable because if you decide you don't want to vote for president or you vote for the wrong president and they have this fantastic idea about tariffs and now it makes everything even more expensive. If you are not protected from those harms, your vote is a way in which you can do that. It begins with information because a lot of people just are unaware of how the process works and how you can add protection to your community. So think in broad terms, maybe the civil rights movement. Black people had no protections in the Jim Crow South. None. They weren't protected from law enforcement. They weren't even protected when they tried to exercise a right that should have been afforded to each and every one of them, assuming they had no felonies that they were serving time for and they were 18 years old, the right to vote. The civil rights movement, which started with a lot of money and a lot of organizing and a lot of hard work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of death, added protections to the African American community's ability to vote. So there's a direct correlation right there between our participation in the system and protecting ourselves or shielding ourselves from vulnerabilities. And so when we do not participate, you are accepting the vulnerabilities and also letting people that want to continue to harm our community, you let them grow even more powerful. And it's unfortunate. But I was under the impression that we understood that. And some people do. But not enough of us get it. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue talking about how we can engage in protectionism, especially if you feel like you are not protected in your community. We have a poll up on the YouTube because I'm a curious fella. And I asked the question, do you feel protected in your community? It's pretty even. Usually our polls are blowouts. 53% say yes, 47% say no. For those of you that do not feel protected in your community, what is the thing you fear the most? Is it maybe costs getting out of control and your paycheck is not going as far as it used to? Or is it the vulnerability or the fear you feel about your job itself? Are you scared you might get fired? You might get laid off? You might get downsized? Or is it the police? Do you feel vulnerable when the police get behind you? Do you not feel protected and served by the police? For those of you that do not feel safe and protected in your community, let's talk about that. Let's figure that out because there are people that physically relocate themselves and their whole family. They'll uproot themselves so they can feel that form of protection. Some people move back in with their mama because mama can protect you. You can mama take care of you. Mama cook for you. Mama provide you a home to stay in. Maybe you're moving back into your old bedroom. So if you don't feel protected, where are you most vulnerable? And let's see if we can figure it out. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Getting to treatment shouldn't stand between you and life-saving care. The American Cancer Society's Road to Recovery program eases your burden by providing free rides to cancer-related medical appointments. Their trained volunteer drivers are ready to pick you up, take you to your appointment, and bring you safely back home, all at no cost. Don't let transportation keep you from the care you need. Schedule a ride today by visiting their website, cancer.org/transportation. That's cancer.org/transportation.
Today's College Month Spotlight on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is brought to you by Marquette University, and I am so excited to be joined by sophomore at Marquette, Kennedy Luckett, who is the first Wade Scholarship Award recipient, and she received that award live on the Today Show. Let's get right into it. Why did you choose to become a Marquette Golden Eagle?
I chose to be a Golden Eagle because even when I was applying, the emails they sent me seemed very personable. They really wanted me there. They were even letting me know about scholarship opportunities. They were letting me know about honors programs, so they let me know about honors and stuff like that. So it just seemed like they really wanted me to be there, and they really wanted to inform me about all they had to offer. And that is very important to me because I didn't want to go to a super large school. I wanted to be able to connect with my professors, which I've had the opportunity to do. I didn't want to seem too drowned out by everybody else. I wanted to really get the connections that I could be able to use, and Marquette definitely showed me they wanted me there and that they could do that.
Lastly, Kennedy, what would you tell a high school senior who is considering applying to Marquette why they should do it?
I would tell them if you want to come to a school that genuinely cares about your best interests and is generally trying to make sure you succeed, this is the place to do it. If I personally haven't received super long wait times whenever I'm trying to ask about something with administration or admissions or whatever the case may be, if I have a question to ask them, I get a response back. And I know a lot of other schools, it takes forever to even try to get a hold of somebody. So that's personally what I really enjoy about Marquette. If you want to make good connections, have some good friends, especially if you're a person of color, there are places for you there. I know it may seem a little intimidating, but there are, I'm in Urban Scholars, so that we have our own space where we can see each other and hang out and meet people who look like us, because community is also very important there, and Urban Scholars definitely does that for me.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In this society, in America right now, and if you need examples of this, I can provide them until the cows come home. Being white is protectionism. Don't they get the benefit of the doubt? Aren't they presented with more opportunities? Wasn't this country created, formed, and shaped by them for their best interests at the expense of everybody else? If you are white and you want to be away from black people because you feel that black people are some kind of a threat to you, you have a whole bunch of options. You can call the police. You can move away. You can run for office and win and use the policy pen to make sure that black people just don't get the same. Make sure that they get less, they're funded less, that they have less opportunity, less resources. You can even make these things called food deserts where they can't even really eat. You also can manipulate something like a food subsidy, right? Being white is protectionism, and all white folks have to do, it's very simple for them to engage in protectionism, is just protect themselves from us at all costs. Sometimes it's stand your ground laws because apparently white people scare easily. And they want to be able to shoot people, maybe even shoot a child like Trayvon Martin and never have to go to jail for it. So when you look at things through that lens, that whiteness is worth protecting, and Donald Trump says, I will protect you. I will help you. These Mexicans are coming over here. They're bringing the drugs. They're taking your jobs. I will protect you and your whiteness. Now, you're going to lose a whole bunch of other stuff. You might lose your health care. You might lose your food subsidies. You might lose your damn mind. But boy, oh boy, am I going to protect you, because at its core, Racism is about protecting yourself against other people that may take something from you. But at the core of this, and I think this is where it's so central, is black children do not even really know how vulnerable they are, especially when they become adults in this society. And if you are academically unprepared, you have no idea what's coming your way. You don't even know what it looks like. It just seems like you have bad luck all of the time, that nothing is working out. The opportunities are few and far between. You're not rich. You don't have a 6-figure job coming out of high school. Why is that? And so the black community naturally has to engage in protecting itself. And one of the ways we do that, religion is huge for us. You know, we have complicated conversations about religion here. If you have nothing else in this society, your bank account is empty, your refrigerator is empty, your children are failing in school, several of them might be in trouble with the police, you might have even lost a child or two to violence, a woman could be in a domestically violent situation, she has nothing, she doesn't have any hope, she has God. And people engage with religion when they feel like they have nothing else because they'll tell you left and right, 6 ways from Sunday, that they are covered in the blood of Christ. Now, I tend to want more tangible things to protect me and protect my community, but it's one of the reasons why we so desperately hang on to an institution that was also used to enslave us, because we have a lot of really vulnerable people in our community, and they just don't even understand how vulnerable they are, but boy, oh boy, can they rely on Jesus. I've prayed before. Unfortunately, Jesus never wrote a check out to Wisconsin Electric or Wisconsin Gas. But he'll make a way. But the reason why religion is so strong is because it acts to protect people that are very vulnerable. One of the ways in which we can shield ourselves is by getting more active, having neighborhood groups and neighborhood associations. Even like why young black men, I think it's less now. I think we call any group of black men a gang. Gangs don't exist right now like they used to. So these young black men could protect one another. If they didn't have any economic opportunities, or the economic opportunities were difficult to discover, they'd sell dope together and they would control territory. That is a way of protecting themselves financially. Now, it's illegal, but that's the whole point of America. You take away or you underfund the things that people need to protect themselves and their communities, especially education, and then you create a vulnerability in the people that you want to protect yourself from. Does this make sense to you? If white folks who curated and created this country are afraid of black people, then why would you go out of your way, if you're a white person, you want to protect yourself, and you even voted for Donald Trump because he's talking that protectionism. Elon Musk's father just said that if the United States of America becomes a majority-minority country, America is in trouble because white folks will not have that protection. And right now, protection is in numbers. It's why some white women probably voted for Trump, because the woman part marginalizes them. That makes them a minority, right? But the white part that Donald Trump was offering to protect made a lot more sense because women are vulnerable. And I get it. Why wouldn't a woman vote for or want to surround herself with someone or something that can protect her? That's why some women are with the men they're with. Dangerous men, violent men, because that woman feels if she's alone in the world, she is unprotected. If she's alone with her kids, she feels very vulnerable. But if it's a man in the house, she can feel more protected. Now, maybe some of that is just either ironic or symbolic, but I know this damn much. Going back to the origins of the Aid for Dependent, AFDC, Aid for Dependent Families with Needy Children, if a man was in the house, you guys know how this thing goes. If a man is in the house, because a social worker would come and see if there was a man's shoes. Because if a man's shoes were in the house, well, this woman wasn't eligible because the man had to be out of the house in order for her to receive any kind of benefits for her and her children. But what if that man protected that family? You take him away, okay, the protector or the provider, or sometimes both, you leave her more vulnerable, and now her future is in the hands of the government, and the government can take it away at any point in time. So you create a vulnerability amongst the people that you want to protect yourself from. This is where America is, and I don't know if our groups, our organizations, and some of the anger and contempt that African Americans have is always articulated that way. The things that other people have that protect themselves, their assets, their futures, their children, they have better systems of education, more of their kids are going to go to college. We want the same thing, but here's the fundamental difference between us and them. They have all of these things in which they can protect themselves against us. If we get those same protective, social protective factors that they have, we have no interest in protecting ourselves from white people. We just want to be made whole as a community. They have weaponized their protection, and they use the police to do it. We know that. You guys remember George Floyd? Remember him? I got to bring him up every now and again for some reason. I think we forgot about that fella. Classic example of how big black man, some kind of a threat. Well, kill him. He was supposed to be in custody, right? Custody means protected. You take somebody into custody, meaning if you're getting taken into custody, you are now under the auspices and protection of that law enforcement officer, because that is what we pay them for. You take somebody into custody, you don't kill them. But white folks have used the police as their own personal security, kind of like Donald Trump is using the Department of Justice as his own law firm. They are protected. They want to protect themselves from us. But if you really want to make sure that you stay protected, do not educate black children. Because once we learn and understand how it all works, that's why they don't want to talk about history. That's why they were banning books. They don't want that history to be taught or discussed. They're protected by hiding history. Because then if the history is revealed, if children are taught in chronological order, then things might change. People might say, wait a minute, I can understand white people and white families want to be protected, but why are you doing it at the expense of black people and creating vulnerabilities? Like, we can do both at the same time. White people can have everything that they want, and we can have everything that we need to. And there doesn't have to be these huge political battles and political fights. We talk about reparations, don't we? Not really much anymore, because if you thought that we were ever going to get reparations, this current administration will make it never so. But that's because we feel so vulnerable because of our lack of assets, because of the money, the trillions of dollars of labor that was stolen from black people that built their wealth and inoculated it, and dare I say, protected their wealth, and then they created policies to further protect themselves from us. So we look at that whole thing and say, well, we need reparations. We do, because we feel vulnerable and unprotected. The whole point now of white supremacy is to protect itself at all costs, meaning, like, I'm watching something, I'm not really discussing it yet because I'm still just trying to figure it out and trying to decipher how I can even discuss it. So you know that we are like launching missiles at these like boats off of the coast of Venezuela. You guys hearing about that? And then I guess there was a raid, I think it was in Chicago recently, where there was an apartment building where they were told that Tren de Agua, this notorious Central American or Venezuelan gang, a bunch of people lived in this building. Like, all of that were lies. In fact, one of the guys had a misdemeanor prostitution charge, and one man had like a unpaid speeding ticket. But the Homeland Security folks busted in and arrested these guys and detained these guys and are working on deporting them because they're saying, oh, well, they're a member of this gang. How far they're willing to go to remove people from this country, because if there are more of them here in this country than the white people who are here to protect, this is America, right? They want to protect their asset, that they are violating the law. But killing these people off the coast of Venezuela, like, that's something else. I'm going to take a break, come back. I kind of want to touch on that because I think it rolls itself into this historical epoch that we find ourselves in that is as disappointing as it is dangerous. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This season, the Bucs are going for it all.
A game
winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only, and you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
Your home has been working hard for you. Now it's time to let it work a little harder. With a home equity line of credit from Brewery Credit Union, you can turn the equity you've built into smart solutions. Pay off high-interest debt, remodel your kitchen, or take care of life's unexpected expenses with flexible access to funds when you need them. Apply today and put your home's value to work for you. Visit brewerycu.com or stop by Brewery Credit Union. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by NCUA.
Harley-Davidson is an iconic Milwaukee brand, recognized worldwide for its innovation and strength. For many years, Harley-Davidson has partnered with Junior Achievement to prepare the future workforce of our community. Together, we're ensuring young people discover the career path that's right for them. To learn more, visit wisconsin.ja.org.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
We will permit our government to kill people if they're protecting us. So apparently they're calling them narco-terrorists. There are people in Venezuela and they're on little boats. It's the weirdest thing ever. But I also want to explain how genocides happen. So we have a drug problem in America, and a lot of people are on drugs, and Donald Trump said we got to stop the drugs from coming in. So we're going to close the border because that's where the drugs are coming in. Oh, and the people that are here, they got let in under the Biden-Harris administration. So what that does is it implicates the Democrats. Oh, and then they're coming over here and they're bringing all the drugs. So now we got to deport them. There's 11 million of them here. And oh, by the way, they're the ones that are taking your jobs too. So we're going to do whatever we can, including violating their rights. And maybe we even sweep up a couple of American citizens at the same time because we got to deport these people. And also, if there's too many of them over here and they have babies, those babies are citizens, and therefore white people will become more vulnerable and less protected because, they're going to band together with the blacks and other minorities, and they're going to vote to protect themselves, and they're going to harm us. But we got to go to Venezuela because that's where these gangs are. And so there are these boats, apparently little small boats, little small vessels, they're killing the people on the boats. So far, in 20 strikes, do you guys know about this? We, the United States, with no approval from Congress, Donald Trump is ordering the military to strike people on these boats. Not even ships. They're just small boats. And they're telling us, oh, those are drug dealers. Wait a minute. Those boats have a range of something like 400 miles, right? And they're more than 2,000 miles away from delivering any drugs to the American people. Here's the problem. So the Venezuelan government is keeping track of how many of these boats are being attacked and targeted by the U.S. military. Trump is also talking about sending a military presence to Venezuela. Like, what the hell is going on? But in the meantime, if there's people on boats, we're killing the people on the boats because the Trump administration is telling us that those are drug dealers trying to bring drugs here on a boat that has a range of 400 miles, but they some kind of way can just sail through the Atlantic Ocean into the Caribbean and deliver this stuff to the port of Miami. Here's the problem. We don't know who's on those boats. We also do not have accurate records of some of the people that are being detained. There have been folks that have been detained or have been disappeared starting back in January when Trump got inaugurated because they started right away. We don't know where those people are. We come to find out that some of them are being shipped to Ghana. Some people are being shipped to Nicaragua. Some people are being shipped to Liberia. Some people might be getting shipped to Venezuela. Some people that are being disappeared from the United States might be on some of those boats leaving the coast of Venezuela. But the Trump administration is saying, no, those are narco-terrorists. First of all, you don't stop drug trafficking by just shooting boats out of the water. So I'm explaining to folks how a genocide can happen. If there are people that we don't want here in this country, and clearly y'all voted to get people out of the country, and then we disappear them, no due process, no court date, they don't get to see a judge, none of that. We just snatch them up and we send them somewhere. We can put them on a boat. Because remember, we don't know where these people are. There's no due process. Once they get taken by the Department of Homeland Security, we don't know where they go. Now, some of them go to detention centers, but not all of them. So you put them on a boat. Then you shoot the boat, shoot all the people on the boat and sink the boat, and then tell the American people, if we start to wonder why we're shooting at Venezuelan boats, you just tell us that those are drug people and they were going to bring drugs here. There very well could be innocent people on those boats. There could be American citizens on those boats. Some of these disappeared folks who have no court date, no lawyer, and no due process can be put on these boats. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but that's how a genocide would take place. You just tell the American people, no, we're just killing bad people. Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. We're trying to protect the United States from these drug dealers. And you just put undesirable people that Donald Trump doesn't like, people that Donald Trump doesn't want, people that might have more details than the Epstein files. Well, you just put them on a boat and just say, no, they were going to bring drugs here. Oh, but Mr. President, the boats only have a range of 400 miles, and the closest U.S. coast is 2,000 miles away. They're going to get gas in the middle of the ocean. That's what they're doing. They're refueling. They're going to bring the drugs here. There's something going on with the military action in Venezuela that is causing the United States to send, and he's talking about sending to Venezuela? That's not a fair fight. But that is also how you can just get rid of people. And we should be very, very afraid, or at least concerned, that people are being snatched without the ability to even prove that they have the right to be in this country. And once they disappear, let's just say they are not very protected. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
On Tuesday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Dominican University Stars.
Jovanovic free throw line. Backs down DeVries with a left-hand dribble. Feeds, fires, and scores. Hubbard as well on the floor. Aguilar in. Bulldog scoops and scores. 2 tough ones for Amar Aguilar.
Scott Warris has the coverage Tuesday starting at 5:30 on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock. Where strong voices meet strong opinions.
Tell your kids who were supposed to be the 7th generation that Paw Paw's an idiot because Paw Paw decided he wanted to be Make America Great, but meanwhile the Chinese ain't buying soybeans from us no more because of policies Donald Trump put in, and they voted for us. You know, I don't know what we're gonna do. I know what you should have did. You should have voted for somebody that wasn't gonna put tariffs out there. I love God, but God can't save you from nonsense. You don't deserve a bailout. You can't sit here and vote one way, and then when your economy gets decimated, your way of life gets destroyed, you want to pray to God? God didn't tell you to go to that poll and vote against your own best interest. That was your own damn problem. That was you. But don't ask for prayer when you block your own blessing. That's why I don't feel bad for these farmers. You voted for this, and now you reap what you sow.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace, every weekday from 12 to 1. Streaming live on YouTube and on 1017 The Truth.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Swings in a playground sky, like us, just you and I.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number, if you're so inclined, is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I'm asking a fundamental question. Do you feel protected in your community? Do the institutions in your community serve your best interests? Do you feel safe and secure? Are your children safe and secure? Is their future safe and secure? How are the institutions of education? Are there jobs? Are there opportunities? Hell, are there grocery stores? What about public transportation? Do you have access to get to where you need to go without having to spend a whole bunch of money on private transportation? What about community assets? What about culture? What about arts? Those are all things that are worth protecting. Do they exist? I know that those things exist for other people. And if you have the money, you will go to a place and move to a place where you do feel protected, where you feel safe. Maybe it's safe from crime. Maybe it's safe from black people. Maybe it's safe from poverty. It's not even poverty. Some rich people want to be safe from the middle class. They're probably more dangerous and more angry than anybody else. And if you are conservative, don't you want to conserve what you have? Isn't that the root of it? You want to conserve what you have at the expense of somebody else. You want to protect yourself from them. You want to protect yourself from these migrants and these illegals. You want to be protected. Donald Trump comes in and says, I'll protect you. We'll get rid of all those people. We'll get rid of all the drugs. Just let me handle it, Trump says. And people are, I think they realize that their protection is fleeting. That is why they want to elect people that will protect them on their behalf. The reason why we have a military, right? To protect America, protect American interests. We are really big on wanting to be protected, but what if you live in a community where there is not such protection? What if there was an intentional effort to destroy the family unit where the man can act as a protector and a provider, can shield his woman, his wife, his children from the rigors and the violence of the world, and he can be a provider. But if the man is in the house, then the woman and the kids are not going to be entitled to benefits in an environment, in a climate that is being deindustrialized. So they are taking away our sense of security and our protection, making us more vulnerable to them, and them controls the system. Let's talk to Bob. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
How you doing, Sherwin? You know, I just want to say, Sherwin, how does your heart continue to beat without nobody doing nothing. Batteries and you know,
electricity.
Instead of you just,
that's how the heart beats.
If someone said, I beg your pardon?
Electricity, electrical impulses is why your heart beats, Bob.
Oh, that's what somebody said in the chat. You got to plug something in for it to be electric, Sherwin. If you mention however your heart beating, explain to me common sense where it makes sense. I'll be whatever religion.
Bob, stop. Bob, please don't.
Buddhist or anything, you know.
The human body is nothing but a series of electrochemical reactions. That's what makes stuff work. The liver and the pancreas and the lungs and your stomach and your intestines and your feet and your neck and your big ass mouth. It's all electrical chemical impulses. That's like, so when you like step on something and it hurts, that's an electrochemical impulse that goes to your spine and it goes to the part where you stepped on something and then you get a pain response. Don't ask questions that you can just Google. You can just Google it. Google.
Okay, sure. Listen.
Okay.
I see I can't win this argument. You know,
Bob, it's not an argument.
Well, listen. Getting back to what you said, when he bombed them people in that river, that arrogant president we got, I still couldn't get over him making fun, a president that makes fun of somebody getting hit with a hammer, Nancy Pelosi, and then he kills people on the boat without finding out definitely what's on the boat. You know, and as far as protection is concerned, I think your radio station should give all of y'all some protection. And I'll just leave it there.
All right.
Wait, Sherwin. I'll talk to you later.
All right. All right, then. Hang up.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying. Wait a shit. Oh, man. I'm trying. Wait a minute. Oh, shit. Oh, God.
It's a button on the phone. It's probably red. End call.
No.
No?
Yep.
There it is. Okay. Julius, you're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Sherwin. All right, the topic today, I just wanted to comment about, well, two things. When you talked about what's going on in Venezuela, you know, one of the main reasons I believe what's going on, it's this old playbook. They're trying to create like a Gulf of Tonkin type of incident. This was happening in Vietnam. One of the reasons why America used as an excuse the military to bring forces and troops into Vietnam, the same way that they use 9/11 as an excuse to go into Iraq because of the oil. Venezuela has one of the largest oil reserves in the world, and they want to go in there and destabilize that country, which will create chaos and havoc like they did in Iraq. While the petroleum and oil companies come in there, they're going to do their part, which is to take over the control of the resources there and put more pocket into big oil companies' pockets, man. And it's like it happens all the time, over and over. It has nothing to do with drugs. You know, that's just an excuse that they use because, you know, like they would say either war, it's either war on terror or war on drugs. America is a drug country. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, you're never going to stop people from doing drugs. It's a personal choice. You're not going to be able to. I don't know, man. It's just, you're not grown adults. People, you're not going to stop drugs from coming into America. A lot of the drugs are already made here, you know, down in labs and stuff. I mean, you know, we're not going to get rid of that. But what's going to happen is I believe the Trump administration is trying to create a distraction as well. They're going to use twofold to create a distraction and also to get those resources. And then, you know, I mean, America's like, make America great again by exploiting people the way that this country has been doing for years, man. I believe we're on a downfall, man. You know, it's like Rome, you know, and I know, you know, politics matter. I think you mentioned earlier about, what happened in California and New York, Mandami, I believe, and Gavin Newsom, and the voting there. And one of the things I find evocative is, when we talk about the Democrats run, to me, it's good that guy, that he's going to become the mayor of New York. But you see, they try to label him as a socialist, a communist. But a lot of young people today, or older people, probably know what socialism is, even fascism. But when they label these people, I don't believe he's either one. He's just trying to do. I think you had a conversation about what's best for the American people. So during those two elections, the American people won. Not just Democrats, and I'm quite sure a lot of the people who voted because of what's going on with the Trump people, as you see MAGA is falling apart, a lot of people came out to vote against what's going on in this country, whether they're Republicans, Democrats. They chose the best person, and that's gonna increase across this country, because what Donald Trump and the Republicans who supported him did was destroy the Republican Party. I mean, I can't see myself as a black person saying I'm a conservative, so I'm a Republican, so therefore I'm a conservative. All of that is trash. If you support what's going on in this country right now, you mentioned the deportations of human beings. If we don't stand
Julius,
up,
can we land the plane? Let's we're gonna sum it up. I appreciate you calling, but let's
okay.
land
All I'm saying is if we don't speak against what's going on, when you mentioned about the deportations of other human beings, if we don't say nothing, they will come after us next. And then, I know the saying, and then there'll be nobody left to speak up for me. So, we have to really think about what we're doing in this country, man. Because this, and I hope this fool, like I said, I never wanted this fool to win again. I had 4 years of that before.
Julius, we were about to land. Now we back up at 10,000 feet and climbing. I want to get on the tarmac now. Let's get on. I'm trying to get my luggage now.
And I love your show, man. You give a food for thought every day. I listen to you every day, Sherwin, and I love your humor.
Thank you.
I love your sarcasm. I love the way you make people think. And the thing is, you got a lot of smart listeners, and it's just a real pleasure to have you, man. And I know you didn't win any awards, but you didn't need to win any awards, man, because what you're doing is the reward, as far as I'm concerned, man.
Thank you, Julius.
Okay, take care.
All right. Okay, then. Okay. Hang up now, Bob. Good Lord. Thank you, Julius. That was thoughtful. We was about to land, and he said, "Nah, we're going to pull up. Nah, we're going to go back up to 30,000 feet." I have a room full of awards. I think I was just mad one year that my conversation with Kamala Harris got second place at the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards instead of first place. I got plenty of awards. I got proclamations. I have what else? I got stuff from the Urban League. I got plaques. I got stuff with my face on it. I'm in the Hall of Fame of my high school. No, I'm good. I don't need all the recognitions, because it doesn't matter if the information that I'm providing is not helping to protect our community, so we can have a better idea of what's happening to us and how we can defend ourselves. Julius does make a point. He's right. We do have to say something and speak up about people that are being deported. But at the same time, if you're vulnerable, if you don't know where your next meal is going to come from, and if you are underemployed or unemployed, it's real hard to be able to defend somebody else when you have to make sure that you and your friends and your family are doing okay. That's real tough, but that's what they do. They stretch you so thin that you don't have the ability, you don't have the hours in the day to be involved in all of the causes that need our attention. Like, everybody should be mentoring a kid. Everybody should be volunteering at a nursing home. Everybody should be participating in other civic engagements. Everybody should be, researching who the candidates are and what's on the ballot next year. Everybody needs to be doing all these things, but you have to prioritize. And if there are systems at play that make you and your community more vulnerable, well, you're going to have to be more judicious with your time, and you simply can't be involved in all of the things that require our attention. We talk a lot about how the wealthy protect themselves in gated communities, private schools, investment portfolios, lawyers on speed dial. But how do regular people protect themselves when they don't have those shields? Let's redefine social protectionism. What does protection look like when you're poor, black, disabled, working class, or a woman navigating a world that wasn't built for you? That's gotta suck. Imagine if you were all those things. And there are people that are all those things. Poor, black, disabled, working class women. Yowzers. How do we protect those folks? Let's take a break, come back, and let's figure it all out. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Today's show title is The P Word. Ricky, you know you like that P word. You like it.
What does the P word stand for?
Protectionism. You got to protect your family and your community. And
Protectionism or Trumpism?
Protectionism.
Which one do you prefer? The P word, that is.
Well, I want to feel protected in my community.
I mean, we all want protection.
Right, exactly. Some people, if they don't feel protected, what do? They go get themselves a gun because at least they can protect their personal space. But I want broader forms of protection to where you don't even need a gun because everybody has everything that they need and they don't have to take something from someone else. Today we're discussing protectionism. So you tried to derail me with that.
I didn't, but I do like to be unprotected sometimes.
See there? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back, you freak.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Every child deserves a school that sees their brilliance. At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe in high expectations, strong character, and academic excellence starting as early as age of 3. MCP scholars continue to outperform their peers across Milwaukee. And the best part about it all, Milwaukee College Prep is tuition free. If you're looking for a school that partners with you, challenges your child, and prepares them for college and beyond, Milwaukee College Prep is the place. Visit MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com to learn more. That's MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
What is a DJ? Do we just play music? Maybe some are that simple. For me, I create memories that last a lifetime. I'm always thinking about how songs connect. I read the room. Every event is an open canvas, a new world. So what's a DJ when you hire me? I'm a vibe architect, a curator of euphoria, a guaranteed good time.
I know you want me. Every day, not only when you're lonely.
Whether you have a wedding, festival, corporate event, or any other special occasion, get your free consultation with DJ Remaniac today.
Trailblazer.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
What are the mechanisms that people use to buffer themselves from what I'm going to call downside risk and tilt the future odds in their favor? Wealthy whites do it via geography, assets, and institutions. Vulnerable groups often have fewer formal tools, that's right. But they still have options, just usually more collective, slower, and harder. For vulnerable groups, social protectionism has at least 4 concrete goals. Number 1, to reduce exposure to harm, violence, discrimination, economic vulnerability, and health shocks. Increase your leverage, power in the workplaces, markets, housing, and politics, and build buffers, financial, social, legal, and informational, and then ultimately shift the rules of the game, change institutions and norms and laws that have systematically disadvantaged people who do not feel protected. Immediate personal level protection, individual protection. This is the lowest level but fastest to implement. None of this, quote, fixes structural inequality, but it alters your risk profile. That's why so many people carry a gun. If you feel unsafe in your neighborhood because there are other vulnerable people that may take. There was just a young man that was shot and killed walking home from high school. You guys hear about this? He's coming home from Masada High School. They shot and killed him because they wanted his shoes. Do people still do that? Apparently they do. And then one of the suspects got shot too. You have to look at that in a broader context. Because if you just look at the individual acts of violence, they don't make sense. But if someone doesn't have hope or optimism, and if they are not their immediate needs are not taken care of, they'll do anything. Human beings will do anything. They will. If you push them hard enough, you can drive a sane man to insanity, take away his family, take away his money, take away his job and his opportunities, and give him 6 months. He'll be a drug addict and an alcoholic. So when you push people to their limits because they do not feel protected, then you have to deal with what their vulnerabilities look like. And then for us, if the black community, let's just say we don't have what we need. Now, some black folks have more than what they need. But let's just say as an overall community, we're not given the benefit of the doubt. We're not given the same opportunity. There are just more vulnerabilities, right? Then the way people react in those desperate times is what you criminalize. And then you can build an entire industry off of that. Let's deprive people. Know at some point in time they're going to do something that is below board and illegal. And that is what you are policing. You're policing their behavior. But let's start policing their behavior maybe a little sooner. Because what you really have to do if you want to make sure that there's another generation of black vulnerability, do not educate black kids. I keep saying this over and over and over again. If we have had issues and complaints about the way MPS writ large is educating our kids, now I know some of y'all went to MPS and you did good. Good for you. We ain't talking about you. I'm talking about 40,000 kids that can't read on grade level. I'm talking about them, not your 70-year-old ass. You're fine. And also, you went to MPS when it was a majority white school district. Of course, they were pulling out all of the stops to make sure that the student body at that time was educated. But as more and more African Americans came to Milwaukee, the quality of the education that our children received got less and less and less, starting by taking out the trades. Do you think that was an accident? You think that they just randomly, something that works so well for so many children, for so many generations, that put food on so many tables, that bought so many houses, it works so well for so many, then all of a sudden it's gone? Would you think that was an accident? I have to push back when people say, oh, our education system is broken. No, it's not. Broken for who? For us? No. It's working exactly how it's supposed to work for us in a nation that wants to make sure we are unprotected. If white people want to protect who they are and what they have built, why would you educate black kids on how they did it? If we have been complaining about the lack of, let's just say the lack of consistency, of the quality of education coming out of MPS. I know there are some good schools, and some of you went to them, but all the schools aren't good. And the overall output that we are getting from the school district, and I say that because we're paying a lot of money for it, but the money that we are paying first goes to the schools that don't even need it. High-performing schools are going to get the majority of the referendum money, and they don't even need it. That's the trick they're playing on us. And as long as low-performing schools are still low-performing, they always have the ability to ask for more money. Always. Oh, look at these schools. These kids aren't reading. We need another $250 million. And we give it to them. And then what happens? A few years later, when you think that, the money they asked us for is going to really start improving the outcome. Nope. We need more money. It's just a perpetual cycle. You can't educate black kids. If things haven't changed, let's say I'm using 30 years as an example, could be more than that, and our education system is still broken after 30 years. If your car needs a transmission, your car is broken, right? Are you going to have that same car for 30 years? No, you're going to fix it immediately. Systems are broken for maybe 2 years. After that, it's intentional. If something is broken, you cannot use it in its current form. You don't just continue to use it. If it's broken, you can't. So when we say, our systems are broken, no, they aren't. They're working exactly how they're supposed to. If I could just get more of us to understand that. Linda called, last week. She got real mad. I egged her on, though. The topic was emotional because she's emotional about education, and she should be. She's a former educator herself. And then we often have these real simple platitudes like, our kids aren't doing well in school. More parents need to show up at school board meetings. They did. And then when parents who are, sensitive and emotional about what's happening in some of these schools, you know what the school board members do? Cut them off. Sorry, sir, you can't bring that up. That's not the topic that's on the agenda. We're talking about the pepperoni budget for school lunches at 3 of our schools. If you're not talking about that, you can't speak. And then we'll tell parents, you have to be more involved with your kids. And I guess parental involvement is important. But remember earlier I was talking about how stretched thin people are. Like, we have to volunteer in our communities, and you got to mentor, but you also have to work, and you got to figure out how you're going to pay your bills. But at the same time, you got to be mad at Trump, and you got to go out to the No Kings protest, and you got to do neighborhood cleanups. You have to do all these things. Do you think that people can just manufacture time and just say, now I'm going to take X amount of hours out of my day to help my kids with their homework? That is putting more pressure on people that do not have the resource of time to help their kids. That's number one. Number two, do you think that these white parents don't even really care about their kids? You think that they sit down and help them with their homework? They don't. Because when those kids go to those schools that are geographically separate from us, those teachers at those schools have a job. And if those teachers don't perform that job to educate those kids, then the parents will get mad at the teachers, and the teachers will do right. The teachers might give all the kids all the answers to the damn test in some of those suburban schools just to make sure that her class is high performing. You think that those parents out there sit with their damn kids? Most of those suburban parents don't even like their kids. But they tell us, if your kids if they're going to do better in school, it's your fault. You have to sit with them every single night and read with them until they graduate from high school. Shut up. Nobody does that. There's the whole internet that exists for that. No, Sherwin. It's parental involvement. What you're doing is you are blaming the victims, the people that are already unprotected, whose lives are already disadvantaged. And you're telling them, by the way, find time to help your kids with their homework because it's your fault that they're failing. There's no onus on the teachers. There's no onus on the $330 million we've given them over the last 5 years. I'm going to tell you what, if the New Berlin School District asked for $330 million, and if every one of those kids that graduated from the New Berlin School District wasn't going to Harvard on a full ride, the parents in New Berlin would burn down every single school and take their money back. Oh, look who's calling. Yay. Why don't we take a break, come back, and we'll talk to Linda. Linda, no cussing this time, okay? We know you're very passionate about the topics. We're talking about what we can do to protect ourselves as a community where systems seem to be unraveling and dethroning our protective measures. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ever had a question about local services, neighborhood events, civic engagement, or ways to get more involved in the community and just didn't know who to ask? That is where 1MKE comes in. 1MKE is a nonpartisan coalition helping Milwaukee residents to find trusted information and easy opportunities to get civically engaged. Want to plug into a neighborhood event, find community services, give back through volunteering? 1MKE is here to help. Learn more and get involved and fill out their community feedback survey at 1mke.org. That is 1mke.org. We are 1MKE.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Today's College Month Spotlight on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is brought to you by Educators Credit Union, and now I am excited to be joined by Victor Frazier, Director of Community Engagement at Educators Credit Union. Victor, let's talk about scholarships. Now, I know Educators has a phenomenal scholarship for those here in southeastern Wisconsin. Can you talk about the scholarship?
Yeah, absolutely we do. We have a scholarship that's open to our members. The requirements are pretty easy. You just have to be a member for at least 1 year of Educators Credit Union, a 3.0 or better GPA, and then you have to just write an essay about how you as a student have exemplified our core values of honesty, integrity, fairness, respect, or excellence. So you get to choose which one you want to write about, and then you just go ahead and submit it, and it's all through a portal right online, and it's very easy to make the application process.
That is great. And do we know how much these students can get awarded financially?
Yes, there's $2,000 scholarships available.
That is
it's a pretty big scholarship out there.
That is a phenomenal tip. Lastly here, what is the final tips you would give to any student who is looking for additional funds to go to college and choosing what school they should go to?
Right. The scholarships, you got to apply, do some research. A lot of the students, I call them digital natives, right? They grew up with Google. Go out there and search a scholarship for the particular field that you're interested in. One of the things I tell students, because I know what they're thinking, scholarships. I got to write that essay. I don't want to write that essay. I hate writing essays. Here's the thing, folks. Write 3 solid essays. Why you're a great student, how you're going to change the world, and why you're deserving of that scholarship money. You can recycle that for all the different scholarships you apply for. That's pretty much the 3 questions they're going to ask of you when you apply for a scholarship. So have those 3 essays ready to go, recycle them, and apply for as many scholarships. Because here's the thing, folks, that's free money. You don't have to pay that money back. We are insured by NCUA, and we do have membership eligibility requirements.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Victor.
Thank you very much for having me. Always a pleasure.
This has been your College Month Spotlight with Educators Credit Union, right here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Social protectionism for vulnerable groups isn't about building walls or hoarding capital the way privileged groups often do. It's about creating mutual aid networks, collective leverage, and institutions that compensate for the absence of individual wealth or geographic escape hatches. Ooh, I like that. Geographic escape hatches. Got some main strategies that historically and currently work or have worked for poor people, racial minorities, women, disabled people, immigrants, etc. Number 1, dense kinship and chosen family networks, extended families, godparents, fictive kin, village-style child-rearing, multi-generational households. When one person gets sick or arrested, 10 others absorb the shock. This is why many immigrants, Black and Latino communities still practice intense family interdependence even when mainstream culture calls it dysfunctional. It also hurt us during COVID because we come to find out that a lot of communities of color, Black and Hispanic, multiple generations of people lived in one house. And oftentimes we had jobs that required us to go out into the real world. We couldn't work from home, right? So if one person, two people, all the people in the family to keep the lights on, keep food on the table had to go out into the real world during COVID. They were overexposed to COVID. They would come back, bring it to the whole damn house. Not to mention how vaccine misinformation also ran rampant through our community. Vaccines and inoculations are protective, but for some reason, some kind of way, maybe lack of knowledge or education, anti-vaccine sentiment penetrated our community to where we didn't think that we needed that protection, and we died because of it. Isn't that crazy? How a community and communities that lack all sorts of kind of protection were opting not to get protected from a virus that ultimately killed us. The first 2 people that died from COVID in Milwaukee County were Black. Let's talk to someone who didn't die from COVID. Hello, Linda. How are you?
Good morning, Professor, and good morning to all the beautiful people of 101.7 The Truth. Shout out to Callie in the chat. Hey, Sherwin. I want to first say my apologies to those that need it. I meet you where you are, even the Matrix itself, for, the profanity. However, for those who are like-minded and understand the diaspora, I cannot apologize for my passion. And as an educator who have witnessed the inside of how this educational system is destroying, I say, lynching our young people's intellectual potential and God-given right for education and the pursuit of happiness. So, having said that, you preaching today, Sherry. Woo, I had to call because this is definitely, we are witnessing in live time how racism destroys the mind, the person, its future, his or her future, and it impacts all of us. So everyone should be outraged. And we see anger everywhere. People are using the F-bomb word, towards our own president. So I'm not ashamed and I'm not apologizing for my passion for our children that affects me deeply.
Linda, we don't want you
beyond words.
Let me be clear. I don't want you to ever apologize for how deeply you're feeling for your passion. I just want you to use different vocabulary. Everything else remains the same. Just you're a smart woman. Just use different words, because what'll happen is you use the profanity and then my protection of my job is gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand, and I'm more cool and calm and collective right now.
All right.
I know that at that time it was Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde does amplify whatever you're anxious about. So that's the learning moment I want to also elaborate on. And I also want to elaborate on the F-bomb word and the B-bomb word.
Can we not talk? Because I have a feeling you might say it. And let's not blame Mercury in retrograde. Rick just said you too old to blame retrograde Mercury. He said it. I didn't say it. He said it. He said you too old.
But no, see, this is just it, Ricky. These are the things that we must learn and open our minds to in order to have a balance and flow of how we respond to life. It happens.
Like
it's a real thing. I'm sensitive. But moving on, Sherwin, I think that we do need to delve into our social response to that F-bomb word, that B-bomb word. Why is the F-bomb word so powerful than the B-bomb word? And I think that we need to look at, this massa mentality of conforming instead of really learn why are we responding to the F-bomb word like that?
Because of the FCC. That's why I say F-word, F-bomb. I got to be worried about the FCC.
Oh yeah. I know about the censorship and all of that regulations. But I'm just saying though, even in the social, arenas, when we use that word or whatever, we always get, we hold our clutches and we grab our nuts and we be like, what?
We grab our nuts,
I know. I love to study social behavior, human behavior, and I just like to know, why do we have this response? We really need to delve into why. Now, the B word we say comes from the female dog, right? So, why does the F-bomb, I'm just really fascinated about the human response to the word. Where does it come from? It's a social enigma.
Linda, it is vulgar and it has no place when we're trying to discuss very serious topics. It's distracting, and I know that the F-bomb causes people to get all up in arms, but if you're talking to a pastor, if you're talking to a CEO of a company you're trying to work for, or if you're talking to a child, there's certain words that you don't use, correct? You can be passionate and use the word however you want to use it, but in certain contexts, just use other vocabulary. And I use profanity too in my real life. I don't know. You just can't effing say it. Don't make me F you up. You know what you need, Linda? You need to get F. You ain't been F'd in a while. If somebody is F-wording you real good, you'll be fine.
I want to say, Sherwin, I know you love me. Because you spoke up for me. Out of your masculine role, yes, and I appreciate that. But you did. You showed me some love. I know you love me, Sherwin. Bye, Sherwin.
What happened with that call? That was not... Number 2, mutual aid societies. And look, fraternal organizations. Historically, black lodges, burial societies. What's a burial society? I don't even know what that is. Chinese Hui. I don't know what that is either. Credit unions. Today, GoFundMe isn't new. It's the digitized version of the same impulse. So burial societies maybe help you bury somebody if you don't have any money. Community fridges, bail funds, abortion funds, disability justice, mutual aid pods, tenant unions, and land trusts all follow this model. So these are ways in which marginalized people that don't feel protected can protect themselves. Collective bargaining through identity or class, labor unions, but also identity-based organizing, civil rights organizations to help protect African Americans from vulnerabilities, the NAACP Defense Fund as a protection racket paid for by dues and donations. I don't like that they use the word racket. Domestic worker alliances, the National Domestic Workers Alliance, disability rights groups that pool resources for lawsuits and accessibility fights to protect the vulnerable, disabled folk. Women's collective that creates their own shelters, clinics, or credit circles. Micro lending for women-owned businesses, et cetera, et cetera. You know what? It's like 2,000 domestic violence shelters for women, and there's like 2 for men. Where do battered men go? Is that even something we need to worry about? Are men physically vulnerable to women? Because some women punch men in the face. Like, what do men do? I'm not comparing the two. Please don't think for a second I'm comparing the two, but domestic violence should never happen. But what if there's a battered man and he needs to escape with the kids? Where does a battered man go? If a man calls the police, I think the police take domestic violence more seriously now, whether it's a man, a woman, or a child that calls. But if a man needs to get out of the house because his wife, girlfriend, whatever, is maybe a drug addict or an alcoholic, then he needs a shelter. They turn men away because the shelters are all women. And if women are in those shelters because they're escaping a man, men are not allowed and invited to those shelters, which I totally understand, but do we care about that? Sometimes men can be vulnerable. Strategic use of the state when it's possible. Poor and minority communities often can't opt out of public systems the way rich people do, so the rational move is to seize control of them or force the state and governments to work. Voting blocks to elect prosecutors, school board members, sheriffs who reduce harm, class action lawsuits and test cases. Examples, Brown versus Board of Education. Turning welfare state programs into mutual aid like SNAP, Medicaid, Section 8, disability benefits become the, quote, insurance policy that wealthy people buy privately, but more vulnerable people can opt into based on their qualifications. All right, this is all starting to make sense. I'm going to give a couple more strategies for, look, we've got another call. We'll take that after the break. I want to make sure that people who don't feel protected, let me check the poll. 54% of the respondents do not feel protected in their community. 46% of the respondents do. For those of you that answered no in the poll, why don't you feel protected in your community? Are there things in your community, in your proximity, in your geography that make you feel vulnerable? Is it your neighbor? Is it the community itself? Is it the threat of violence? Is it the poverty? Is it the hopelessness? Is it the joblessness? Is it the poor performing schools? Is it the police? When you call the police to report a crime, do you feel like you may be victimized by those police, or do you feel protected and served by them? Let's analyze all of the ways in which people of color and communities of black folks don't feel protected, and let's try and decipher them so we can fix it, because that's what we do here on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's College Month on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, and we want to help your young scholar get those free scholarship dollars. All month long, we'll be highlighting local organizations who help students find thousands of dollars in scholarships each year. So be sure to tune in to 101.7 The Truth's College Month so you can learn how your scholar can get those scholarship dollars. College Month on The Truth is sponsored by Marquette University and Educators Credit Union.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the First Time Home Buyer Education Workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
You make time for everyone else. Family, work, everything in between. Now it's time to take care of you. If you're 45 to 64 and don't have insurance or your plan doesn't cover screenings, you may qualify for free mammograms and Pap tests through the City of Milwaukee Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Awareness Program. Call 414-286-2133 to see if you're eligible. Real self-care starts with your health, and early detection saves lives. Funded by Wisconsin Well Woman. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/wellwoman.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Avenues West, a feature track on the Blue Mist album, curated and created by yours truly. If you search YouTube for Sherwin Hughes Blue Mist, you too can have access to the incredible debut artificial intelligence album Blue Mist by yours truly. I got like 5 different projects in the works, Rick, and I can't finish any of them. I've got so many. I'm going to start a whole AI record label.
So now you just Puff Daddy.
Kind of, but without the baby oil. I'm just saying,
Not too late to backtrack on that.
No, I don't need to backtrack. I can be P. Diddy without the baby oil. Speaking of baby oil, hey Al, good morning.
What's up? Good morning, and there's nothing wrong with using baby oil.
I know.
Just don't use it as a lubricant, but it's good for doing massages.
You're right.
Now, when it comes to the community, you can always protect yourself, number one. Number two, the reason why men beat on women, deep down inside, they're gay. They mad at themselves. They ain't good for sugar, honey, iced tea, and they like man butt. That's the only reason they beating on women. The other thing I would like to ask these listeners, please stop saying when you come to life issues, please stop saying God gonna handle it. You handle it. Okay? When people say I'm gonna let God handle it, just come out and say I'm lazy. I have no dedication, determination, inspiration to fix it myself. So I want God to give it to me so I can be unappreciative and losing that I don't know how to keep it or gain it again. And last but not least, Republicans should not be worried about no snaps, because y'all worry more about dope than y'all do snaps. That's why all the silver spoons is burnt in the house, because y'all barely eat, because you're too busy burning them silver spoons with them big lighters from the corner store when you cook your hair on and you spray that lactose all over your dope and coke. And another thing I was going to say, too, how are y'all going to be mad about closing these detox centers, but you're not mad at the people that's doing the dope? But I would think you would be mad upset that they're taking away health care, because if they're doing dope, they're going to put stress on the healthcare system where they have an overdose and their hemorrhoids bust and they look like they had a miscarriage in their rear end. So I don't understand. You can't have one without the other. You can't say you're not mad about them closing you can't be mad about them trying to take away affordable health care, but you mad about them taking away detox. Now, you have to understand with detox, ain't nobody telling them to do that dope and coke. That's free will. And once they leave the detox, they still going to get high and be looking through the concrete and the garbage can, seeing if they're going to find some crack and cocaine, and be walking the streets at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with it's 20 below, sweating like a pig. So you can't have one without the other. I want y'all to have a good day, but remember this. I don't care what these Republicans say. If they bring you a 350-pound pig and a halter top, blue eyeshadow, eyelashes, and red lipstick like she been tossing salad and sucking that male rooster, it's still a freaking pig. Have yourself a good day. Bye-bye. If God don't do it, it won't get done.
Okay.
Man rooster is crazy.
Oh, because of the name of a male rooster is can I say it? Because there's a bunch of names.
I don't know. I thought it was called the Gooch.
No, there's a name for a male rooster. And I should be able to say...
No, don't say it.
Well,
I just thought about what you said. Don't say it.
It's also a part of when the rooster crows, the sound it makes. A lot of you have been remarking on my social media about apparently a picture of me on a stripper pole. Everybody relax. I needed the money. Don't judge. Don't judge me. I want to read some of the YouTube comments. If you haven't done so already, go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, and hit subscribe. You'll be able to participate in the YouTube chat. Good God almighty. What is happening here? Okay. LaRon says somebody else's tennis shoes is not an immediate need. It is a want that they are not willing to work for. How do you know they fit? Are you and the accomplice going to wear one shoe at a time? Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. Robberies. We never really get all the information. I don't know, but that's what they were told, or what we were told about why that 18-year-old was shot walking home from high school. Or he was going to... He had early release, and he was going to work, and he got shot for apparently his shoes. Linda says community organizations like Neighborhood Watch / our community organization is Bridge Builders, connected to all city officials, programs in the Milwaukee Police Department, monthly meetings, activities for community involvement. See, those things are fantastic, and they can act to protect people that do not feel protected in their community. One way in which we do that, without having the money to move away to what would be greener pastures or a safe community, is to band together with the people that share the same sentiments as you. Hello, Blake. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Sherwin Hughes. What's happening, Mr. Wordplay? Something else, dude. I thought I was missing the whole conversation. I had left off the plane and got back in the car. I thought I had missed the day or something. But what I do, as far as the domestic violence, and I'm going to move past it, I was in a situation where she wasn't happy. She kept putting her hands on me. I took my stash and I moved. I got a whole house, got myself together. I'm taking care of myself and my kids. Moving forward. As far as like the feeling safe in your own community, I grew up in Milwaukee. I grew up on 26th and Lisbon. I grew up on 23rd and Keith. I stay off of like 35th and Right now. But it's like, if you get in there with the people where I'm at, it was like 4 or 5 homeowners. I talked to them. I met them. And then on the other side of the block, they had a community thing going on off like 38th and Right. So introduced me to those people. And then yet and still, the next night, a dude came through doing 100 miles an hour and ripped up 9 cars on the block running from somebody else that he had hit on North Avenue. So things are happening everywhere as far as the shootings, the kids having guns. When we had guns, it's because we were selling dope, and we needed them. So we didn't get robbed in the spot, but they have them now because they're cowards. I was riding down the street, eating my food, getting off work, and some cat with dreadlocks in the red car hung out the window. You so-and-so, Mark. I'm like, I'm eating food. I'm at work, and these cats trying to follow me around. So I just pulled over, and I got out the car. They kept going, but like you can't stop the inevitable. Our lives are already written. I just hate that this stuff is happening the way it is. Like dominoes. That man was on that man's porch crying, dying the other night. Now that man, he's been in the neighborhood. Now he want to move, and he almost 70 years old. It's going to happen where it's going to happen. As you can see, the outskirts is happening out there. Stuff is going on. They barely mentioning it. But then when something happened like to the brother in Brookfield, that's front page. And everybody just need to, if they're going to be together, be together. It ain't about trusting you with my money because we're never going to get together on business. Unless Blake, you know somebody.
We got to leave it there.
I'm sorry, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Don't put me down, man.
I appreciate you too, Blake. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for Hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Come in with straight truth.
Everything got a message. I'll say this. Y'all can't be tired if y'all still messing with the negative energy. Every day I get on and say, the power of the tongue. impulsive negative thoughts, reacting, and these kids watching you reacting all wild and crazy. The programming you watching on TV, the music, and now, like Security Mike said, it's popular to pop somebody. It's popular now. And these kids they coming back to somebody's house. They coming to eat a meal at somebody's house. They hanging out with somebody in the neighborhood who got a house, who paying the rent. They hanging out with you. They may be your relative. They may be your buddy. That social acceptance is there. Understand what I'm saying? So when we really tired, we gonna cut it off. We gonna stop it.
Tune in to all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows all day, every day by downloading the Truth app. Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
A talk. It's called the Senate Civil Suits for Unauthorized Data Seizures. In the continuing resolution that had to be voted on in order to open the government, authorizes U.S. senators to file civil lawsuits against the U.S. government, including the Department of Justice, for up to $500,000 in damages per violation if federal law enforcement seizes or subpoenas their phone or other data without prior notification. Hold on, wait a minute. If you have been accused of a crime and there's evidence and probable cause, and the federal government or any investigating agency gets a warrant from a judge to seize your cell phone records, there's nothing you can do about that.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon. Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth.
Dad's gonna be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles. The slate's coming in.
What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I'm playing songs from my Blue Mist album, but this is not the song that Rick wanted to start the hour with. Rick, can you tell the people the song that you wanted me to play? It's a song I've never heard of before. Maybe some of our listeners are familiar with it. The song is called what now?
Friends Do, the remix.
Okay, well, I'm not going to play that because I think it would kind of twist the mood.
As a DJ, you're supposed to be breaking records.
I'm not a DJ.
Remember you said that. We got to record it.
Not right now. I'm not acting as a DJ. I'm hosting a talk radio program, and I do want to touch on the United States continues to conduct deadly strikes off of Venezuela and is assembling an unprecedented firepower for what could become a full-on military conflict. How do we feel about potentially going into war? I'm very sensitive to war. I don't like it. I don't like when America is involved in foreign conflicts because there is just a lack of trust that I have for the system and the military-industrial complex whenever we enter into a theater of battle because it puts our servicemen and women in harm's way, and we oftentimes don't even know the real reason. We have these presidents and other leaders that may have a vendetta against someone, and they may want to use the military might of the United States of America, funded by U.S. taxpayers, to threaten another country or to do this thing called regime change, because there may be a president of another nation that does not like the United States. Therefore, they may not want to do business with us, and of course, we have a problem with that, so we bully them with saber rattling. I'm also particularly sensitive to war because I just recently finished what was, my opinion, the best telling of the Vietnam War. It's a 5-part series. It's on Netflix. Each episode is an hour long, and I watched them back to back to back. And it begins with President Kennedy and sending military advisors into Vietnam and the escalation of the war under Lyndon Baines Johnson, and then a further escalation of the war and the lying to the American people and the Vietnam War protests, which I can trace our lack of trust of our leaders. And it's bipartisan. Democrats and Republicans don't trust Democrats and Republican elected officials. A lot of that stems from the mistrust of our government because we got lied to about the Vietnam War. Vietnam War should have been over in 1967. But we had military casualties up until the year I was born in 1975. So we cannot trust American leaders to put us in a theater of conflict because we lose wars too. We didn't win the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. We lost those wars. Dare I would say the competency of our leaders have been reasonable. And I wasn't a huge fan of George W. Bush, but there was a competency there, policy making, even though I didn't agree with the policies, that Donald Trump does not have. And if I could not trust a Republican like George W. Bush, then how on God's green earth could I possibly trust Donald Trump? President Trump and his administration have been quiet about who has been killed and on what evidence, but the swell of American forces coalescing off of Venezuela's coast has escalated tensions between Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and Washington, D.C. Trump told reporters on Friday that he has, quote, sort of decided how to continue operations in Venezuela. What does that even mean? But added that he couldn't tell reporters what it would be. On Sunday, he said there was no update yet, but that he may be having some discussions with Maduro moving forward. The operations have targeted what the administration has called narco-terrorist drug vessels, but the underlying potential to spark regime change is also at play. The present tension is years in the making. The United States and others in the international community have alleged that Maduro, now in his third term, has retained power through manipulation and stolen elections. Well, that's something we know all too well here. Trump has also made the disputed claim that Maduro is in league with drug gangs and heads the cartel De Los Solis, which the State Department designated this week as a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro has denied the allegation. The official word is that the United States is striking drug vessels from Venezuela that are being operated by narco-terrorists. At least 83 people have been killed, over 20 strikes, since the president first announced the operation in September. So far, no U.S. forces have been harmed. Maduro has said that his country is, quote, at maximum preparedness to defend itself amid the United States pressure, according to the Associated Press, and said that he would declare a republic in arms if the United States attacks his country of Venezuela. Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez has classified America's military exercises in the area as provocation and aimed at starting a war. Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a Maduro ally, described the strikes on the boats as pure murder. Democrats are pushing the administration to provide Congress with more information about the strikes on the boats, which have so far killed 83 people, which the Trump administration insists they have the authority to carry out. A bid to block Trump from taking military action against Venezuela failed in the Senate with a 49-51 vote, even though lawmakers from both parties have expressed interest in increased transparency about Trump's military operations. The United States has assembled an unprecedented amount of force off of Venezuela's coast, including fighter jets, early warning aircraft, submarines, and long-range Tomahawk missiles. The world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, arrived off the coast of Venezuela on Sunday, joining 7 warships. Oh, we're going to bomb the country. The largest aircraft carrier that we have The USS Gerald Ford arrived off the coast on Sunday, joining at least, it says, 7 other U.S. warships. The USS Wichita, located north of Cuba, and the USS Lake Erie in St. Thomas are also on their way. What the hell? Why are we picking on Venezuela? Don't we have enough to worry about here? It says there's enough firepower in the area to conduct immediate strikes on Venezuela, including 185 Tomahawk missiles, according to estimates from the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The Trump administration doubled the reward amount for Maduro's arrest to $50 million in August, with Attorney General Pam Bondi accusing him of using criminal gangs to bring deadly drugs and violence to the U.S. So are the drugs coming from the Mexican border, or are they coming from the boats that have a 400-mile range that are off the coast of Venezuela that is 2,000 miles away from America? The administration sought to tie the Maduro regime to criminal gangs as it tried to invoke wartime authority of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to accelerate the deportation of Venezuelan migrants the administration suspected of being in gangs. But a partially declassified intelligence memo asserted that Maduro's regime was probably not directing TDA's movement into and operations within the United States. An appellate court ruled in September that the administration can't use the centuries-old wartime law for its fast-track deportations, granting preliminary injunctions to prevent removals. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back. Going to be talking to Chandra Williams. She's a breast cancer survivor, a model, and founder of Chandra's Breast Cancer Models, Inc. Rick, did you know I was once approached to be a model? Did you know that?
I could believe it.
Thank you. Because you think I'm handsome?
You're thick.
What? I didn't say a plus-size model.
No, you could be a pussy.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, think you're the ultimate trivia champ?
Well, prove it against us, your favorite WTMJ host.
It's free to play. All we ask is bring a new unwrapped toy to benefit Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Or you can donate at WTMJ.com. Just text TOY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line.
855-616-1620.
Grab your friends. Test your smarts. All while helping a great cause.
It's the WTMJ Trivia Challenge, coming to a place near you.
Check out the schedule of where we will be at WTMJ.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. In studio, Ms. Chandra Williams, breast cancer survivor, model, and founder of... She didn't hear that because she didn't have headphones on. But she is the founder of Chandra's Breast Cancer Models, Inc., and the visionary behind Beautiful Life After Breast Cancer, a movement and an e-book that celebrates resilience, faith, and the beauty of survival. Welcome to the program, Chandra. How are you?
Very blessed, highly favored. Appreciate it.
So let's start with, what inspired you to write your book, Beautiful Life After Breast Cancer, and what did the process of putting your story into words teach you about healing and purpose?
What inspired me to write the book was a healthcare disparity that I'd had no clue about. Putting those words into an ebook was very healing, because it allowed me to have the conversation all together with all the hurdles that were overcame.
And I'd imagine...
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So that formed my purpose.
You also, as you were writing things and remembering all of the obstacles you had to overcome, does this help you better have discussions with other women who may have had a recent diagnosis, who are scared and don't know what comes next? So do you provide, I guess, your experience to other women who might be in a similar situation?
Absolutely.
In your book, you talk about being uninsured and homeless when you were diagnosed. That's certainly not good things when you have such a monster diagnosis. How did those challenges shape the message and the hearts behind your story?
So being homeless and uninsured let me know that it was women like me who needed more than just help. We needed a place to stay, and we needed our medical needs met. That's what it taught me.
So considering the health obstacles that you were facing, I guess, what do you tackle first, right? Obviously, you need health insurance because you're going to need serious medical care, but you also are going to need a place to sleep at night. So I guess, how do you prioritize, all of those needs at once? Like, where do you begin?
You begin with one foot in front of the other. You have to, one of my hurdles was my age. So I was 32. Well, you had to be 35 to 40 to get help from the state of Wisconsin for breast imaging, and I wasn't old enough to get that assistance. And it actually took Susan G. Komen and the Aurora Access Grant to get the money that I need to help save my life to be here to tell my story.
What resources are available for uninsured women like yourself? Because I know that there's still plenty of people in our community that do not have insurance, that may have a diagnosis or they have yet to be diagnosed. Where would you recommend they go if they don't have insurance?
I would recommend that they start with Susan G. Komen, and then I would recommend that they would go to any cancer-related entities that offer grants, that offer free medical services, free medical advice. I ended up going to Planned Parenthood. I got a letter from them. Try the emergency room. They have resources, and just believe that what you need can happen for you.
I'm speaking with Chandra Williams, breast cancer survivor, model, and founder of Chandra's Breast Cancer Models, Inc. Your title of your ebook centers on the word beautiful. What does beauty mean to you now after surviving breast cancer and rebuilding your life?
You know what? Me personally, I feel like beautiful to me means to be 6 feet above ground. If you have that and you have a side dose of opportunity and preparedness, that's a win. That's a beautiful thing to me because that'll get you anywhere.
So to be alive and to be present and to have opportunity is how we are defining beautiful. If that is the case, then I think a lot of us should consider calling ourselves beautiful, Chandra.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
If people want to read your book, how do they find it? Where do they get it?
Go to breastcancermodels.org. And if you want to email me or would love to support the show, you can email me at chandra@breastcancermodels.org.
Hang on a second. You have a show?
I do. I have an upcoming breast cancer fashion show on June 13th.
Okay.
That's going to be at the African American Women's Center. That's 3020 West Valete Street, 53208. That's going to be from 12 to 4. If you want to get involved, let us know. We'd love to have you.
Thank you, Chandra. We appreciate that. And please keep us posted on your upcoming fashion show.
Pleasure's all mine.
All right, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Thanks.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ready to hit the road in your new car? At Brewery Credit Union, we make it easy with affordable payment options on auto loans designed to fit your budget. Whether it's a brand new ride or the perfect used vehicle, we'll help you get behind the wheel faster. With flexible terms, quick approvals, and personalized service you can trust. Don't wait. Start your journey today. Apply online at brewerycu.com or visit us at Brewery Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Today's College Month Spotlight on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is brought to you by Marquette University, and I am so excited to be joined by sophomore at Marquette, Kennedy Luckett, who is the first Wade Scholarship Award recipient, and she received that award live on the Today Show. Kennedy, thanks for joining us here today. How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
That is fantastic. Let's get right into it. Why did you choose to become a Marquette Golden Eagle?
I chose to be a Golden Eagle because even when I was applying, the emails they sent me seemed very personable. They really wanted me there. They were even letting me know about like scholarship opportunities. They were letting me know about honors programs, so they let me know about honors and stuff like that. It just seemed like they really wanted me to be there, and they really wanted to inform me about all they had to offer. And that is very important to me because I didn't want to go to like a super large school. I wanted to be able to connect with my professors, which I've had the opportunity to do. I didn't want to seem too drowned out by everybody else. I wanted to really get the connections that I could be able to use, and Marquette definitely showed me they wanted me there and that they could do that.
That is fantastic. I know Marquette goes the extra mile to make sure students understand what that Marquette experience is going to be. But what has been your favorite part about being a student at Marquette so far?
My favorite part has been how walkable the campus is. It's super beautiful. I love just walking and going on walks, and I feel like safe in the campus. You can't just like go walking everywhere, you know? So being able to just do that on my campus is really nice. And then also like the different connections I get to make, like even being able to get a Wade scholarship and meeting Dwayne Wade, I was like, whoa, that's super cool.
That is so cool that you had that experience to meet the Dwayne Wade, but also enjoying your experience on campus at Marquette University. Thank you so much, Kennedy, for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And this has been your College Scholarship Month Spotlight with Marquette University right here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
about to do the Gruber giveaway. We want somebody to win the $5,000s of dollars.
You gave me that look like you up to something.
I'm always up to something. Didn't we just give the money away? Didn't somebody just win?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
The next giveaway is on this show, I believe. That's going to be a good time. It's always fun. But I need more excitement from people. The last time I did a giveaway, I think Reggie won. He wasn't even excited.
I'm going to go share with the homeboys and throw a party or
He's
something.
We're going to rent a car and go to Kentucky.
Yeah, something like that. Get the homies or something.
Do I need to give people ideas of what to do with the $5,000? Because the ideas that, well, one lady, and we have a promo that's running, it's sad. She's like, oh, my brother my brother just died. Like, why are we always so sad? You know, I want somebody to win the money. Like, I'm get a bunch of strippers and cocaine, and I'm going to blow the money, and I'm going to go to the club, go to Mr. B's and get bottle service, and like blow the money, do something with it, or invest it. I don't know. I just
throw a party.
Exactly.
Diddy party.
No, you need more money than $5,000 for a Diddy party. This baby oil alone will probably cost $2,400. All right, Rick, you ready to do it?
Let's do this.
All right, come on.
One call, that's all.
Now's your chance to be our one call, that's all $5,000 giveaway entry for the day. You heard me, damn it. If you didn't win the mega super cash, you can win $5,000 from us. 1017 The Truth and our partners, Gruber Law Offices. I'll take caller number. I'm answering these calls. Caller number 7 at 833-212-1017, and you'll be entered to win $5,000. Courtesy of Gruber Law Offices and the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Again, caller number 7 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. Caller number 7. Let's see. Let's start here. Hello?
Hi, am I caller number 7?
No, you're calling number 1. Try back. Bye-bye. Hello? Who is this?
Roderick Cottrell. What's up?
Hold on, man. Don't give your whole government name out, man.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you can't cuss either. Well, you're calling number 2. This is not working well. Let's do it again. Hi, hello there. Who is this?
Yvonne Bonds.
You call number 3, Miss Bonds. I miss you calling, though. She used to call us all the time. Let's try. Who's this person here? Hey there. How are you today?
Oh, I'm not number 7.
Not even close. You're number 3. No, you're number 3. So call back, okay? All right, then now. All right, now. Hello there. Who is this?
Hello there. Who's this?
Turn your radio down, man.
I just did.
All right. Well, now I turn it back up because you're only calling number 4. So you didn't win. Let's see. How about right there? Hello there, caller. How are you?
Caller, how are you?
Turn your radio
I'm great.
down.
How are you? Oh, I'm sorry.
What's new?
Oh, nothing. Trying to get this phone to work here.
All right. Well, you got the phone to work. Are you trying to be caller number 7?
I sure am.
You're calling number 5. You got to call back.
Sherwin.
What? Let me see.
Be nice, dog.
Let's see. Hold on now. Look at all these people calling. What about you? Hey there. How are you doing today?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What's on your mind? What you thinking about?
I was hoping I was calling number 7.
You know what's crazy? Funny you mentioned that. You want to know what's crazy and wild?
What is crazy and wild?
You're calling number 6. So,
oh, my goodness.
I don't know how you're going to handle this because as soon as I hang up on you, okay, I'm going to give you a couple seconds. I'm going to give you a few seconds now. If you want to call back, I'll take whatever call comes in next. Okay, then. All right, here we go. Look at them all. Look at all these people starving for money. All right, here we go. Hello.
I'm trying to see if I'm caller number 7.
Congratulations. You are, in fact, caller number 7. Anything?
That's great.
Yeah, yay. Now, hold on now. You didn't win the money. You're just being entered to win the money. So your name will be amongst the others when we do our giveaway in a few months. Okay?
Okay.
All right, then.
Okay.
Hold on. Don't hang up now. Ricky's got to get all your informations. And give us a working email address, please.
JER.
No, hold on, man.
Oh, no.
Not now, man. Wait till I put you on hold, and then Ricky is going to... Unless you want a bunch of weirdos emailing you now.
No, I'm good.
All right. Hold on now. Hold on. People calling, giving a full government names. Brother's about to give his old
I just want to say you are funny.
So you
are funny and rude.
I don't know how you guys handle the grouper calls, but the way I did it is textbook. That's how you do it. You answer the phone, you ask them how they're doing, you engage them a little bit, but you got to get them off the phone if they're not the right caller. So you just boop.
I'm about, guess what? This is going to sound crazy. You caller number 6. Too bad. Bye.
Try to help.
Damn.
That's luck of the draw. God didn't want her to win yet. That's all it is. God said it is not your time, my child.
It's kind of like when I'm playing blackjack, the cards is just not dealt for me.
Yeah, there wasn't in the cards for those other people.
I'm just, ugh.
All right. Well, you got this brother right here, which is funny because y'all don't see what I see. So when you call us, we have caller ID here, obviously. And then, hold on, let me grab this. Hey there.
Hi, am I caller number 7?
No, you're not.
Oh, thank you.
All right, then. All right, now. Should have asked her what she had on. No, I'm just curious what she wears to work. Speaking of curiosities, 81 people have voted in our poll, and I asked the question on YouTube, do you feel protected in your community? Are the assets in... Hello.
What caller am I?
Like 24? You're not...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? Hold on, I was finna talk to her now. She's quick to hang up. Do you feel protected in your community? 54% of you say no, you do not feel protected. 46% of you say yes. And when I say protected, do you feel that the opportunities, the access in your community, do you feel protected by, let's say, the police? Are the schools good? How are the public accommodations? Do you have recreation and entertainment? Do you feel like your community is one where people are looking out for one another? Do you have all of the assets and the amenities that make you feel safe and comfortable? I think a lot of this may be divided amongst renters and amongst homeowners, because if you are the owner of a home, you would assume that you purchased your home in a community that has all of the things that you require so that you can be comfortable. Also, your level of comfort as an individual person, as a single person, might be different if you're a parent. You as an individual person may look at your safety as maybe second tier. Like you can protect yourself and whatever assets you may need or community resources. If they're readily available, great. If not, you can travel to where those resources and assets are. But if you have children, your feeling of safety and protection might be a little bit different because it's not just your individual protection. It is the protection of your children. How are the schools? How are maybe the community programs and the after-school programs? You know, a lot of times schools no longer have organized sports because those are some of the first budget cuts to take root. But then you have other community-based sports programs like Beckham, Stapleton, Little League, and some communities even have pee-wee football and other types of sports that young people can get involved in. Do you have parks in your community. Sometimes that can serve as a source of protection for your kids because you want to have safe places for your kids to play and be social. And if you have parks, then a lot of times those parks are those safe spaces for our children. And so the point I was trying to make is that if there are people, usually marginalized folks, black people, women, folks who are differently able that do not feel protected, they don't have all of the assets that they need in their community, they can use the power that they have, especially the power to vote, to put people in office that can provide policy for that protection. And the earlier example I gave is people in the state of Georgia were really upset about the increases in public utilities. Their electric bills were going up so high that there are some people that were paying more for their utility bills than they were paying for rent. Well, in Georgia, they get to elect people that set their utility rates, and those boards on this Public Service Commission in Georgia, they are given the latitude and the authority to work with the power companies, and these elected officials can set the rates that can be much more favorable to the voters, to the public. And for the first time in a quarter century, there are 2 African Americans on this public utilities board in Georgia because African Americans took the opportunity in the most recent elections a couple of weeks ago to vote to be protected from ever escalating and increasing utility bills. So if you do not have such protections, one of the ways in which you can inoculate yourself from incredibly high prices or from other things that make you vulnerable is to use the power of the vote. What else are some other things that people can do to be protected in their communities? Cultural and religious institutions as risk pooling mechanisms. Black churches historically function as banks, insurers, employment agencies, and armed defense leagues. The Deacons for Defense is an example, which I never heard of. Mosques and synagogues often do the same in their communities today. Geographic concentration when segregation is forced anyway. Paradoxically, historic ghettos, barrios, Chinatowns became protective because density enabled the things above: mutual recognition, shared reputation costs, easier mutual aid, and political power through sheer numbers in a voting district. And that's one of the things that Milwaukee had going for itself during the temporary pause of EBT and SNAP benefits, et cetera. I saw this community come together in lightning speed to make sure that we were all fed. I was even going to have people come to my house if it got that bad, because I predicted the government shutdown would last a lot longer than it did, because I did not have in my bingo cards the Democrats caving, especially after they had that monumental set of election wins the previous Tuesday. I thought that they would ride that momentum because clearly the voters, or at least the voters that came out a couple of Tuesdays ago, firmly blame Republicans for the government shutdown. But the Democrats, we come to find out, 8 of them voted with Republicans to open up the government with 0 concessions made. While it was very easy for us to blame those 8 Democrats that voted with the Republicans to reopen the government without the Democrats literally getting anything out of it, I come to find out it wasn't just that 8, it was a lot more than that. The Democrats were willing to cave even sooner, and they had even more numbers than the 8 that voted to reopen the government with 0 concessions. The 8th that voted, and this was a very strategic move, it was not a positive move, but it was strategic. The 8 Democrats that joined with the Republicans to reopen the government with 0 concessions. All the Democrats wanted was the Affordable Care Act subsidies to be extended for another year. And for those people that said, oh, well, Joe Biden could have done that as well. You're right. And Joe Biden also could have given everybody reparations, too. Making health care affordable should not be the priority of just one political party. It should be the priority of every elected official that has people that cannot afford health insurance. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Liberal, Democratic, Socialist, whatever. So all of these things shouldn't have to be forced when the Democrats are in office. That's shared responsibility amongst both political parties. Because I got a lot of that. A lot of folks were saying and contacting me individually, oh, well, Joe Biden could have extended the Affordable Care Act tax credits and subsidies. Yes, he probably could have. There's a whole bunch of other stuff Joe Biden could have done, like step down in time. Step down to allow the Democrats to have an actual primary to where we weren't stuck with Kamala Harris. And I hate to admit that we were stuck with Kamala Harris, but we were stuck with Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris did not win. No one ever thought that it would be this difficult to ensure that Americans could afford their health insurance. So they just assumed that whatever Congress looked like at the time when the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies need to be extended, that it would happen. Whether people like the Affordable Care Act or not, it has been around for 15 years and has something like 25 million enrollees. And if you expand out the extended Medicare and Medicaid coverage, it's something like 40 or 45 million people that benefit from that piece of legislation. That's more than 10% of the country. That's a lot of people. And the Democrats, of course, wanted the tax subsidies extended, and that was their sticking point. They were not going to vote to reopen the government until the Republicans provided that. Well, that didn't happen. But the 8 Democrats that work with the Republicans are ones that do not have to face re-election next year. So that is why it was limited to 8, just enough to reopen the government, and Democrats got nothing. There's a promise that was made, but I don't expect the Republicans to honor the promise, because why would they? They said there'd be a separate vote, a standalone vote, because they wanted what is called a clean, continuing resolution with no additional policy other than reopening the government and returning staffing levels to what they were prior to the shutdown, even though the Republicans put a whole bunch of policies in there as well, including one that allows U.S. senators to sue the Department of Justice if their phone records get subpoenaed because of their involvement in January 6th. That is about as corrupt as you can possibly get. We're talking about a political party that wanted a handful of members of the U.S. Senate to be able to sue the federal government for $500,000 each occurrence if they happen to be under investigation because they were on the phone and sending text messages helping to orchestrate January 6th. So if they get investigated, basically, these Republicans said, you've got to pay us $500,000 every time you want some of our phone records. They prioritize that over kicking 25 million people off of their health insurance. And when we talked about the different things that can keep people protected, protecting your health and protecting your wallet with the ability to afford health insurance is one of those things that is very, very high priority for a lot of folks in this country. But you have a political party that wants to engage in protectionism for basically whiteness and those people who think that immigrants are the ones responsible for crime and that the immigrants are coming here and taking jobs and that the immigrants are disproportionately taking the SNAP benefits. All of those things we know are untrue. Narrative and cultural power, controlling the story. Art, music, social media, scholarship to make oppression visible and costly for the majority. The hashtag #MeToo movement, hashtag Black Lives Matter, and hashtag disability Twitter are modern protectionism turning visibility into policy wins and sometimes into direct donations or boycotts. Boycotting, a bunch of y'all are going to be boycotting Black Friday. You're very angry about what's going on right now, and you want to send a message to these corporate robber barons. A whole lot of you are not going to be spending money on Black Friday, and I say to that, good. People are going out on Black Friday buying stuff they don't need for people that they don't even like, spending money that they don't even have. I never really got into the Black Friday thing. No big deal to me. Them TVs is going to be cheaper as you get closer to the Super Bowl than they are during Black Friday anyway. And how many TVs do you really need? Now, I'm guilty as charged. I am one person. I live alone. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 televisions in my house. But I need 4 TVs in my house, though, because I got to make sure there's one in the living room where I do my entertaining. You got to have a TV in the dining room because where else are you going to watch the nightly news while you're having your dinner? Must have a television in the spare bedroom because what are my guests going to watch? And if I'm watching something in the living room, my guests can take their ass in the spare bedroom and they can watch that television. And even though you're not supposed to do this, I have a television in my bedroom. They say you're not supposed to have a TV in your bedroom. You guys know about this? Because if you have things in the bedroom that can take away from sleep and restfulness. It can aid in insomnia. That's what they say. You know what the bedroom is for, ladies and gentlemen? I'm serious. Like psychologists have said, sleeping and sex are the only things you're supposed to do in the bedroom. You're not even supposed to read books in the bedroom. Some people will read a chapter or two before they go to sleep. You're supposed to get up and go somewhere else and read your book. Bedroom is for sleeping and humping. That's the only thing. Now, some of y'all turn your bedrooms into your whole sanctuary. Some of you watch TV. You're on your computer in the bedroom. You're on your phone in the bedroom. Some of you eat in the bedroom. Why would you do that? Ricky, you can't say that. Did you say that on the air or did you say it in my ear? Okay. I kind of want to tell the people what you said. Because, you know, people do sometimes eat. There was a girl I liked a lot, and she was laying in bed, and I went to Subway. She wanted some Subway restaurants sandwiches, so I went to the Subway restaurant. I got a couple sandwiches, and I came back. I said, hey, I got your Subway. She was like, bring it in here. I said, what? She's like, yeah, I'm still in the bedroom. I'm laying down in the bed because me and her had a little sleepover. And she said, bring the Subway sandwich in here. And I was like, I don't really.
Put her to bed.
Oh, yeah. You better believe it. Oh, yeah. I laid her down like a bricklayer lays bricks, but that's besides the point. So she said, bring the Subway sandwich in here. I said, I don't really like, eating in the bed because then the crumbs and stuff is going to get in the bed. She's like, she convinced me. And so she's eating the Subway sandwich in the bed. And I was like, well, hell, I guess I'll join her. Next thing I know, I got pickles and onions and olives just falling all in the bed sheets. And I said to her, hey, this is why I don't like to eat in the bed. She said, shut up. And I shut up. And we just ate the Subway sandwiches in the bed. Moral of the story is don't eat in bed. But Ricky, what did you say you like to eat in bed?
I just said I like to eat in bed.
Okay. Are we talking about food?
Why you trying to do that to me? Because I can take it there. I'm trying not to derail.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Ricky, I don't feel very protected here with you.
I told you, I like to be unprotected sometimes.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Lorenzo.
Lorenzo! You just won $5,000!
What would you do with $5,000?
That's sweet for a couple months.
Yes!
There you go.
That just made me happy.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Can we hold something?
Y'all holler back at y'all.
I got money now.
What is a DJ? Do we just play music? Maybe some are that simple. For me, I create memories that last a lifetime. I'm always thinking about how songs connect. I read the room. Every event is an open canvas, a new world. So what's a DJ when you hire me? I'm a vibe architect, a curator of euphoria, a guaranteed good time.
I know you want me. Every day, not only when you're lonely.
Whether you have a wedding, festival, corporate event, or any other special occasion, get your free consultation with DJ Remaniac today.
Trailblazer!
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Steinhoffel's Black Friday mattress sale is happening now. Steinhoffel's is Wisconsin's mattress leader, and right now you'll find incredible Black Friday deals on all the best brands, plus 60 months and 0% financing. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic sets, $900 on Beauty Rest, and even $900 on certified organic avocado sets available exclusively at Steinhoffel. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to upgrade your sleep, this is it. Shop in store or online at steinhoffels.com.
Harley-Davidson is an iconic Milwaukee brand, recognized worldwide for its innovation and strength. For many years, Harley-Davidson has partnered with Junior Achievement to prepare the future workforce of our community. Together, we're ensuring young people discover the career path that's right for them. To learn more, visit wisconsin.ja.org.
Join Marketplace Wisconsin on December 10th and 11th, where contract-ready small businesses meet buyers, partners, and mentors. Register now at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com.
For general contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Even though we haven't heard from him in a while, Andy Positive, he emails me weekly podcasts from his radio show. Now, it's not really a talk show per se. It's more of a music show, but he narrates it. And he invites me to stop by every Tuesday, which I never do because I'm afraid I will never come out of that studio alive. But here's what I want to play what he sent me. So let's turn this down. All right, let's see here what this is.
Good afternoon before the early evening to one and all. This is Andy Positive and Wileyta, and we are bringing to you live from the River West Radio on the perfectly dusty street of Center, Mother's Musical Diaries.
I wonder if his wife is actually there, because I'd like to meet her.
Call or text the show at 414-8.
Hey, don't say the damn phone number. I don't want that.
That's 414-8.
So what does this guy actually talk about?
Place if we collectively we start every show with a diary entry from Mother, and then at some point we play a song from her musical archives, and finally we end each show with Mother breathing closely, then entering my room to impart wisdom that offers a good, deep sleep. And so we begin with the words of Mother.
But is it going to be his actual mother?
Saw Jim Morrison on the TV the other night.
That's him. That's not his mama.
Disappointed. No thanks. I bet he could barely cross the street alone.
Okay, that's...
Give me an alert and attentive Isaac Hayes any day.
That's a lot, and it's cringy.
That Isaac was floating.
That was a lot for me.
Hit that, Wileyta.
What is this music? Oh, the rest is just music, I guess, right?
The great album, and just killing it on the Hammond B3 organ. Mother lovers, I think I forgot to mention that heavy metal version, that was by Amorphous.
All right, that's enough of that. That's... All right, Andy, don't say I never did nothing for you. I played a little excerpt of your little radio show, even though you don't really talk about anything, and it's weird. And you say you're talking to your mother. Your mother's going to impart wisdom, but it's not even really your mother. It's just you trying to sound like a woman, but you don't sound like a woman. You just sound like yourself. Okay. So some time ago, we had an obscenity trial live on the air because Al said something at the time that was just far beyond reproach, and management made a decision to remove him from the air for probably about a month or so. And then I took it upon myself to ask you all, the listeners of my program. Well, it wasn't just my program he was banned from. He was banned from any kind of interaction or calling 1017 The Truth. And so we did a trial. And we assembled a Prosecution, these are individuals that did not want Al to call 1017 The Truth ever again because they are offended by his rhetoric and by his vulgarities. So there were people trying to make the case to you all, the listeners, whether Al should be allowed to call 1017 The Truth. And one of those prosecutors was, in fact, Dion, the non-voter. Dion, the non-voter, has been one of the most vocal opponents to Al that we have ever had. And so Dion was making his case that Al is vulgar and he's disgusting and he distracts away from the conversation. And Dion made his case. Well, Al also had a defense team that was assembled on his behalf because if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed on your behalf. Not that Al couldn't afford an attorney, but this is radio. And guess who his defenders were? Miss Rose, may she rest in peace, and also Andy Positive. And they made the case. Even Miss Rose said she may not like or even agree with some of the things that Al says or how he says them, but she defended his right to be able to say them. And if you don't like what he says, she used like either a colloquialism or some kind of metaphor that even those of us that may not like what Al says, there are people that don't like what we say either. But that does not stifle our ability to say what we think. And then, of course, Andy Positive gave his thoughts, feelings, and sentiments. And then ultimately, we turned it over to you. And we asked people to vote via text message if you think that Al should be completely banned from 1017 The Truth permanently forever, or if his calling privileges should be reinstated right away. And we were unsure as to what was going to happen because when we put that out there for people to vote via text message, you never know who would reply. When I say it wasn't even close, and there were people that texted us, I think it was before we had YouTube, actually. This was a couple of years ago. There were people that texted us because most of the numbers from frequent texters, because you can text us at 833-212-1017, even though most of you don't. Most of the people that text, we had their numbers saved. The overwhelming majority of people that texted in that day to reinstate Al's calling privileges were from people that had either rarely or never texted the show. And when I say that vote was overwhelming, it was like 4-1 people that wanted Al to call in. And so from that point forward, we have allowed Al and those that share sentiments like him to call and share their thoughts on this show. While he may be vulgar, a lot of y'all are vulgar too. In fact, we were doing the Gruber, trying to find our caller number 7, and people are using profanity. Linda uses profanity and then called us today to justify why she should be able to use the F word all of the time. We all have our different opinions, and I like that the diversity of our opinions show up on this program. I want to provide information to people so that they know how things work, how systems work, how civics work. And then once you know how those things work, it's easier to interpret and understand what people are doing to you because they take advantage of vulnerable people, not necessarily because they're black or because they don't have a lot of money. It's because people do not understand the system. The lack of education and civics education makes you more vulnerable, in my opinion, than being black and or poor. There also is a misconception that black people are all the same, that we are shiftless and we are lazy and we are prone toward violence. That is quite the opposite. So I want the diversity of opinions of who we are to be on full display on this program. We are not all one person. In fact, we probably have more differences than anybody would ever account for. And I'm glad that those differences show up Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until noon on 1017 The Truth and, of course, on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope that today's program did serve to offer you a little bit more information about how we can better protect ourselves. I'll see you next time.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing
any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look bad. Your neighbor from down the street, if they see the son or daughter, be like, what are you doing? They gonna call you out. They gonna let you know that they saw you, and then they gonna tell you, come here. Now you know I'm gonna tell your daddy.
That part.
There are a lot of times when people are new to an area, they don't know where to plug in. And anybody who plugs in the 101.7 The Truth and listen to you and Dame and Truth Nation would know that there is a significant public outcry when violence happens in our community. Don't worry about the outcry if you're not listening to the right people. So I would encourage her to tune in to 101.7 The Truth and listen to you guys, Denise Thomas, Dr. Ken